Welcome to the Bodaciously Awesome Family Show. Bodaciously Awesome Family Show. The only show dedicated to helping parents maximize their kids' experiences and for kids to reap the fun. Here are your hosts, the Bodacious family, Adam, Anthony, and Zachary.
I see what you did there.
Blue 19, Blue 19.
Guys, I get it, because football.
Tombstone 28.
And we're talking about football today,
Papa John's 18.
which is why you're saying football things.
Pizza.
Yeah.
And pizza. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Bodaciously Awesome
Family.
Football
Show.
I am your host, Adam.
I'm your host, Zach O.
I'm Anthony.
We have Anthony back in the house. He's out of retirement. The journeyman quarterback is back today.
No. There's no journeyman. This is like Peyton Manning going to the Broncos for like the last couple of years. You know, this is like Joe Montana going to the Chiefs for the last couple of years.
But they showed up every week. You don't show up every week.
How do you know?
Because I'm here every week with the little one here, and we rock it out 52 times a year. I mean, not really, because we miss weeks here and there, but the point's still there.
I'm just here the weeks you aren't.
That's fair. Zachy, what are we talking about today?
Quarter of the season through the NFL Football League, and I don't know, it's just updates. It's kind of like the beginning, just, a quarter of the way through.
Well, think about it this way. We're going to look back at the beginning part of the season, and we are a quarter way through the season, so this is like the quarterback episode.
Uh-huh.
Did you like that? That was a great setup. Neither one of you are laughing at that awesome setup and joke.
Huh.
There you go.
Oh, you got a real chortle.
That was a real knee slapper.
Yeah, I know. That was cool.
He
All right.
actually slapped his knee.
He really did, because that's what Zach does. He's explosionary.
For real.
I'm physical.
That's all that song means. So, all right. So let's talk about our quarter of our NFL season. We may or may not get into a little bit about some of our predictions that are proving some of them very good, some of them less than stellar. Mine included in that. But that's only because Anthony swayed me. And although if you hadn't, I may have been dumb and stupid. I picked the Rams, and so it wouldn't have mattered.
Although, didn't we all pick the Rams?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
that didn't go well.
But to be fair, I did say the Eagles were my second choice.
You did, and we all, if I remember correctly, Zachary and I rolled our eyes and under our breaths called you stupid.
Yeah, no, I remember that too, because it wasn't really under your breath.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed to be out loud. And hey, I still don't believe it, but they're there. So let's start going through this.
Wait. Can we start with the Eagles? Because I have a scary point to make on the Eagles.
Hey, Zach, should we start with the Eagles today?
I don't care.
Okay, let's start with the Eagles. I've been told there's a scary point, because it's Halloween time and all. There's a scary point that Anthony wants to make. What do you think it's going to be?
I don't know. Probably something scary.
It's going to be like a jump scare?
Ah!
I just scared Zach.
That was good. Anyway, so next week they have a bye. Then they play at home against Pittsburgh. Then they play Houston. Then they play Washington. Then they play Indianapolis. Then they play Green Bay. Then they play Tennessee. I don't think they're already undefeated. I don't think they have a potential loss until week 13.
Who do they play?
They play at the New York Giants, who oddly look good right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Green Bay is in there. Indianapolis can be tough. I think Philly will win. But yeah, you're right. They come back from bye with 3 really easy games in any rate.
Are you calling Houston easy?
Yes.
And they're gonna have all the momentum in the world, which is why I'm not even questioning Indianapolis, and Green Bay looks lost. So.
They do. But I'm saying, but those are both trap games that could come. Yeah, they could get a loss there.
But my point was, I don't know if the Eagles are good enough to be 12-0. But I see a pretty easy path where they are 12-0.
That is kind of scary, and the Giants being that formidable path to block that.
That was the other weird one, because I don't understand at all. So
Zach, let me ask you a question first here, and then Anthony, you can answer this one. But what is the most surprising thing so far this season?
Probably that the Eagles are 6-0.
Okay, that's on the list, but I don't think that's the most surprising. What are you?
The Giants being 5-1. And beating good teams along the way is baffling.
You're close, but that's not quite it.
The Rams?
No. It's that not the fact that the Giants are doing well. They are, and that's baffling. And they're beating good teams along the way, and they're 5-1. And that is half of the equation of absolute cuckoo world that we're in. Also, that the Jets are doing good.
And Dallas is doing good with Cooper Rush.
Who's that?
Exactly.
It's their backup.
And the Patriots are doing good with their high school quarterback.
Yeah, Bailey Zappi. Actually,
Zappi.
I liked Bailey Zappi coming out of college, so I'm just saying. I'm not shocked.
So, Zach, you said the most surprising thing so far has been the Eagles. What else? Like, what do you think in terms of, like, what have you really liked? What's been the most awesome thing?
What do I really like? Houston won a game!
They did. They are not winless. That's like a win for their entire season right there.
It was against the Jags, too. The Jags are not bad this season.
The Jags are pretty good.
I don't know if they are.
Elaborate.
I think people freaked out because they won a couple of close games against decent teams. And I think these last couple weeks have shown what they really are, which is a team that is not quite there yet.
I agree, but I think what Zach's also saying is that, hey, looking back at how bad they've been, how lost they've looked.
And the Houston Texans won!
And Zach wants to make sure the Houston Texans at least get something out, like, because they're the current lost team, that the Jags have looked better, and that's helpful. I'm not saying they're in the top 10 of the league or anything, but they're better than I can't think their outlook was going to be.
Okay, gotcha. My favorite thing about this year so far is the amazing lack of, like, blowout games. Like, most of the games have been close, and everyone's kind of near each other. Like, there's no, like, clear bottom of the league besides, like, the Panthers.
Well, I think there's a clear top and a clear bottom.
Sure.
I mean, but there's, like, 2 teams at the top, 2 teams at the bottom, and then the other 28 teams, I mean, if you're like, hey, here's the 49ers and here's the Bears, I think the 49ers will win. They're better than the Bears. But if the Bears won...
But also in week 1, the 49ers did not beat the Bears.
I know, but if the Bears win... I mean,
No, that was because 2 people were out. George Kittle was not in, and I think it was Brandon Ayuk was not in either.
Well, there's a lot of reasons they lost, but...
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, the
point.
parity in the league, though, is, as Anthony was saying, it's like
Minnesota.
Teams that seem like they should be bad, historically speaking, or recent history speaking, the Jets, or the Giants, are doing really well. And even teams that, like, I wasn't expecting the Saints to do all that well, and they're not, but they're not as bad as I thought they'd be. And if they win some games or lose some games, like, everyone seems like it's a good topsy-turvy year.
For the most part, it seems like nobody's as good or as bad as people thought they were going to be. And they're all kind of just in this weird gray area.
I know. That's what I thought the Broncos... Well, everyone's thinking before the offseason. I wasn't really, because I thought the Broncos were going to do okay. Like, I thought they were going to do pretty good, but not amazing, and I was right. Because the Broncos, all the hype around Russell Wilson going to the Broncos, I mean, look, they're doing okay.
Actually, I think they're kind of doing bad. That's actually another one of my surprise features.
I mean, if I was the owner of the Broncos, Nathaniel Hackett would be fired by the end of this sentence.
And he is who?
He's the head coach that they just got, and he has been awful. Like,
yeah, I mean,
absolutely terrible.
Because they spent money, and I really liked Russell Wilson, and he has just looked, let's say, not as dynamic this year.
Yeah. Well, I think it's coaching. I really think it's coaching.
Well, I mean, either Pete Carroll is a great coach, which he is, but he's not necessarily an offensive coach.
Well, I mean, he's clearly doing something right on offense though, because Geno Smith is like
that's true,
tearing it up right now.
And Geno was kind of was a lost quarterback.
That journeyman, yeah.
I'm going with lost.
Yeah, Geno Smith has been doing really well.
So Zach, if you had to update now any of your predictions that you made earlier, who do you think right now are like the top, let's say, 4 teams?
In any league?
Yes.
Let's keep it in football.
Ha.
Now,
oh my God, I love my own mind.
Okay, so probably Eagles. Eagles. Chiefs. Bills. Raiders.
What?
So apparently he threw you on that last one.
Not the Raiders.
Yeah, fix that.
I said that was because I
think the Raiders are better than their 1-4 record, but they're also still 1-4.
What? No. No. Let me redo that.
Yeah, I think your first three are solid.
Chiefs, Bills, Eagles.
I don't think there's a 4. I think those are the 3. You can make arguments for other teams to be number 4, but I think by and large those are the 3.
So do you think there's the 3 clear-cut best of the league right now?
Mm-hmm.
So are they all in the same league, or is it going to be like the Eagles versus...
No, the Bills...
And the Chiefs are in one, and the Eagles are in the other, right?
Yes. Okay, yeah. So Bills and Chiefs, and then the Eagles are the top 3. And then if you wanted to say Baltimore's in that group, or if you wanted
I would have said that before this weekend.
I think they're having some rough breaks. I really do.
They are, but some point those breaks have to go your way. That's what great teams do, and they aren't winning the breaks.
Honestly,
that's tough breaks.
If you wanted to say Minnesota or New York is in that group too, I don't think I'd disagree with you. If you wanted to say Dallas was in that group once they get Dak back, I wouldn't disagree with you.
Okay, I would say that right now you're silly because the Cowboys are always awful. They will always do bad. They will seem like they're really good, and just when they have it all within the grasp, like, man, it can't get any better, they have it all figured out, that's when all of a sudden they will just play awful, and they're going to be awful, and they're just going to be nothing. Let's assume that's the case with the Cowboys. It's their brand.
I'm waiting for that to happen with the Giants, because it does not seem sustainable to me.
That's fair.
Because they're playing like a 1980s offense.
All right, so let's revise now. Let's go back to who is in our AFC Championship game.
I think mine doesn't change. Bills, Chiefs.
Same.
Yeah, that one's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
By the way, they're the 2 best teams. And I will say this now. Hear me now and believe me later. I said this exact same thing 2 years ago when the Saints beat the Bucs in regular season twice. And I said they're going to meet in the playoffs, and it's really hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. That game this weekend with the Bills winning again, it's a really hard thing to do to beat a team, to beat the Chiefs 3 times in a season.
They haven't
They
played
won't play
twice.
Did they play earlier already?
No.
That was like last year's playoffs, dude.
What was the first second game of the season? Who did the Chiefs lose to?
No, they lost not the Chargers.
Definitely not the Chargers.
No, that it wasn't. I promise you, it wasn't the Bills.
Well, then I feel stupid by doing all that. Then that was my big announcement.
They lost to Indianapolis. You were at the game.
No, I mean I was at that game, but there was another one before that.
Chargers?
Huh? Maybe that was it. All right. Well, then I was thinking of the Chargers. That makes no sense now. I was at that Colts game, and it was amazing, and it was a lot of fun. And you know what I did? You know what I ate for lunch that day? That's what I ate for lunch.
Pizza?
No. I ate Kansas City spare ribs.
Oh.
I ate Kansas City ribs at the Indianapolis Stadium before the game. I thought that was kind of funny. All right, so what is the NFC Championship game, Zach?
Probably, I think it's going to be Philly and Minnesota.
Minnesota.
There's not any really good teams in the NFC.
All right, I like it. Who are you saying?
It's tough because I think Philly is the right answer, but I don't want to go New York or Dallas or the Rams.
Don't go Dallas. I will disown you.
I don't think those 3.
You have to be smarter than that.
I don't think those 3 have any sustainable success.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, I gotta look at this again. I
kind of like Zach's Minnesota answer. That's the type of team that could sneak in.
Minnesota's not a bad answer. Tampa's a bad answer. So I'd either say Minnesota. It sounds Minnesota and San Francisco. I might go San Francisco, actually. I trust Jimmy Garoppolo and Kyle Shanahan more than I trust Kirk Cousins.
So, you want to hear what I'm going to say?
What?
Hit me.
49ers.
Yeah.
And Minnesota. Philly will not make it. That's my prediction.
Okay. If this was Jalen Hurts' first time in the playoffs, I would agree with you.
Ooh, that's a good point. Good point there.
But remember what happened when the Rams went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff the year before. They went to the playoffs. They got blown out in the wild card. A little angry about it. Came out, had the best offense in the league, and then went to a Super Bowl.
That's a good point.
So I'm drawing a little parallel there.
Okay. And to be honest, I have nothing against Philly. Actually, I hope they make it, right? My sister, your aunt and uncle live in Philly. They're big fans. So I hope they make it. That's always a good, fun time, right? I just don't know. It's like they've come out so hot. I don't know if they can
sustain
if they can keep that, right? Minnesota just feels like an underdog team that has been good for the last couple of years. And now all of a sudden with Green Bay kind of falling apart, it looks like they might be able to get out of their division a little easier. And I think that's going to help them. And then, honestly, if Trey Lance was still in, I would not be rooting for advantage at all. But I really like Garoppolo there, and I think it's a good play.
I want Garoppolo to go to a Super Bowl again.
Just to rub it into their face.
Yeah.
So bad, because that would be so perfect.
And then he should win it, too.
He doesn't even have to.
All right, so now we've decided on our championship games. Zach, who's in the Super Bowl?
Oh.
Zach, Anthony, who's in the Super Bowl? What Zach thinks?
I'm still going Buffalo. I don't think they've done anything to disprove the fact they are the best team in the league right now. And then I'm going all the way with the little Philadelphia Rams comparison. I'm going Philadelphia.
That's what I said. I was going to say Bills Philadelphia.
I'm going to say Bills 49ers. So
that would be obviously my second option.
Yeah, so I think this will be good. All right. Well, I think we did pretty well here. We'll check back in. Actually, this is the third way through the season, not the quarter way. Whoops. But we'll check back in a couple weeks, maybe about 2/3 way through the season, into the bye weeks. You looking at, is my math off on that? It's like week 5, right?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Yeah. So
I just did math homework. I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway.
Oh no, you're right. My bad.
So we'll check back in a couple weeks again, and then before the playoffs. But I think those are all solid. Anything else you want to say about this year's football season here, Mr. Zaki?
No.
Anthony?
I'm good.
All right, everyone. We'll talk to y'all next week. We'll see you later. Bye. Dallas.